Hello everyone and welcome now to game 2 in this series between GL Snute and SuperNova. Game 2 taking place here on Cloud Kingdom. Game 1, a very back and forth matchup. Hopefully you guys have already seen it. Let's go ahead and move on to game 2. SuperNova taking game 1 in very impressive fashion, and we'll see what's going to be going down in game 2 here on Cloud Kingdom. SuperNova spawning as the red Terran player on the bottom left hand side of the map. Meanwhile, GL Snute spawning on the top right hand side of the map as the blue Zerg. Zerg versus Terran. And game 2 in this series. Now, so far in game 1, we saw both of these players play a very economic game. SuperNova went for a command center first after that early supply depot. Meanwhile, GL Snute went the same route and went for a hatchery first and didn't get his third base all too quickly though, so that may have been the original reason why things were set up the way it was. GL Snute was able to make the game very interesting in the middle portion, where he was able to essentially fungal growth down about 40 SCVs in just a matter of seconds. But it looks like this time around SuperNova will be establishing a barracks on the front door. I do like this building placement. This barracks will allow for a reactor to be placed down here, but then it will allow for two supply depots to be placed together right here. Now, when a lot of the game revolved around baneling busting, you may not have wanted that, as these two supply depots could get taken down at the same time, causing you to be supply blocked very early on. Now, so far, it looks like Snute is going to go for that hatchery here. Meanwhile, SuperNova has not tipped his hand for gas just quite yet. It may be a 1 racks expand, very common strategy now, and we'll see if he does go for an additional command center inside his base, allowing him to call in extra mules and also train SCVs slightly faster. SCV now already moving out to do a bit of scouting. Where is this drone going to be traveling off to? It is going to be doing some scouting as well, hitting the Zelnaga tower, and simply just going to be sitting here for a little bit of time. Drone now just simply on patrol, and we'll see what this drone will be doing as the SCV finally coming in. I like what GL Snute did here. Essentially, he wanted to figure out the timing on this particular SCV and when it was going to be doing that scouting. GL Snute pretty much knows exactly what SuperNova's build is based upon the timing of this SCV, and now knows what to be expecting, as we are going to be going into a spawning pool. No extractor as of yet, and now perhaps going to be traveling into that double queen, perhaps 4 queen strategy, where Zerg players just play highly defensive early on with those very powerful queens, able to heal, lay down creep tumors, and also help with overall production. Now, taking a look at the base, we can see that a command center is being placed down. Double refineries already placed down as well. I don't see any additional production buildings as of yet. Looks like it will be a factory, so we may see that 1-1 build, 1-1-1 build once more. SCV now going to be doing a little bit of a blocking here at this base, but with the Zerglings now making their way over, I believe this SCV needs to get the heck out of dodge. Realizing it will spot that hatchery come into play here. Will this SCV spot anything else? Probably not, as the queen is over there and is able to snipe it down. The Zerglings also getting a slight movement speed bonus since they were on creep. Alright, coming back. Zerglings now making their way to test that front door. There are Marines nearby. We can see Reactor Hellions now coming in. Starport already coming down as well. Meanwhile, the barracks should be adding on a tech lab here in just a moment, waiting for the extra 50 minerals. There you go. And now it is going to be double Hellions here, as we do see one Zergling try to test that front door. The Marines should be able to take down that Zergling before it gets in. And it is going to be a 3-base Terran, or a 3-base Zerg versus a 2-base Terran. And this was something that I expected to see much earlier from Snute in the last game. And perhaps Snute, having a more of a production advantage this game, will be able to come out ahead. 36 drones compared to 25 SCVs, with no extra command center coming out from Nova. Now, Nova is going into the Banshee tech that I expected him to go. We are going into Hellions here. And there were only 3 production buildings coming out from SuperNova. SuperNova did like a much more of a heavy mech style in the previous game, going into Hellions with full 1-1, eventually 2-2 and 3-2 upgrades, with Thors, siege tanks, Vikings, and even some Banshees and Ravens thrown into the mix. Queen now, in a beautiful position, now blocking this right here, and it looks like the Queen, if it actually does a good trade here, may work out. The Queen doing a great job. More Queens now making their way over. This Queen now needs to back off, and Snute blocking that ramp perfectly, not allowing any units to make their way in, and now we'll see where these Queens are traveling off to next. However, he does not control that Xel'Naga tower. He doesn't know where these units are going, but he does have a good suspicion here, as once again they are coming back over, getting off some easy shots once more, and now pulling away again. Beautifully done. Snute just so far in absolute control of this game. And let's take a look at the harvester count, 54 to compare to 36, as we are going into the first Banshee. The Banshee now trying to take down a drone, able to get off, I believe, 1 worker kill, but that is it. And now Hellions coming around the top side. Is it going to be able to get some drones? Yes, 1 drone does get taken down, but it is really limiting the amount of damage, as the Zergling was able there to intercept once more. The Banshee looking to come back once more, getting off another kill. But we do not see enough damage being dealt by SuperNova, as we already see, 62 drones compared to 41 SCVs, 3 bases to 2 more Hellions sniped down, and will he get that last shot off? It looks like 1 drone will get taken down here, but not at the same cost of all of those units. Taking a look at the total losses, 550 versus 456, only 6 workers lost, as we now move on back. Banshee simply retreating back home. We are going into, I believe, yes, it is going to be a Terran bio play. Reactored, Marines, Stim Pack, eventually Combat Shield will be coming out as well. 1 Viking on patrol, going to be shooting down this Overlord with little to no effort. Down it goes, as it continues its hunt for more Overlords. You can see the 3rd base of SuperNova has been placed down already, but the 4th base of Snute has been established as well. We can see 1 Hellion trying to finish off a Zergling, unable to escape away, as the Overlord is not, just spews creep just in time, delaying this expansion again. Banshees showing up. Are the Zerglings going to be able to intercept this here? And yes, try to take down some of these Marines. The Marines all grouping together. Beautifully done and reducing the amount of surface area. The Banshee is going to get in a lot of kills, but this is still going to buy a lot of time, as the Marines are not going to be able to finish off this Overlord. The Overlord is still in position, spewing more and more creep. The Zerglings can back off, and SuperNova just doing a great job buying himself time here, as the Marines are still trying to wall themselves up, and SuperNova is in trouble if he cannot get this base up and running. You can see the Zerglings have been able to deal the necessary damage continually, as now the Zerglings perhaps trying to test the front door. Nova able to actually set up the supply depots and push those units back. Alright, a Viking still on patrol. It looks like the Viking will be able to escape that group of Queens there. And still 1 Overlord reigning on SuperNova's parade. Marines finally will be able to make its way over, and here we go. Snute just simply has to only rely on his creep to recede, and then this base will be established. Zerglings now catching some Marines in transit, and looks like they'll be able to get a good surround here. No Marines in the bunker, and the Marines, who are currently seen at 1-1 going up against 1-1 Zerglings, both sides fighting it out. A good trade for SuperNova there, but Snute still continually training up more units, and now already starting the 2-2 upgrades. Meanwhile, SuperNova waiting on his armory to start his own 2-2 upgrades. Orbital Command still needs a little bit more time before it can land. Meanwhile, Snute already operating on his additional base here. It is 4 bases to 3, but then again, we are not near saturation at all 4 bases for Snute. Snute only sitting at 67, but we are now transitioning into Mutalisk, and the Mutalisk may be able to hunt out those medevacs. If those medevacs are not well protected by Marines, those medevacs will find themselves in an early grave. What is going down? A Banshee now trying to escape. It looks like the Marines are going to be coming back over. 1 Mutalisk taking a little bit of damage there, deciding to back off. A fungal growth would have been beautiful if Snute was in position already, as we now see the creep is slowly being pushed back. Here we are, one Banshee, a couple Marines and medevacs, but this force looks rather small to really deal any serious damage. Snute with Mutalisk, Banelings, and Zerglings now coming in for the counterattack. Will it be able to do anything? Not at all, as the Mutalisk clean up and once again get more map control. Snute with still the momentum on his side. Will he be able to finish off the rest here? As now, Mutalisk finish off one poor Viking. Viking unable to fly away quickly enough. There is a missile turret in position. Siege tank up on the high ground. Snute looking to crash into this base here. Are there enough Banelings? Oh yes, there are a lot of Banelings in production. 29 adding on, and now here we go, raining on this base in just a moment. Missile turrets, Banelings now trying to push their way in. Are they going to find any serious damage here? Another Baneling splash, siege tanks falling, and all the Banelings are simply splashing in on this front door. Bunkers are down. The entire base is pretty much taken down as the Banelings come back around to find some Marines, and the Mutalisks pretty much are going to go unanswered now, as the Mutalisks and the Banelings have finished each other off. Alright, SCV is now trying to run back home. Is it going to be enough? Mutalisks are in position. More splash damage from those Glaive Worms to finish off more of the SCVs. Another siege tank getting caught in transit, as the Zerglings are going to be able to run through this base here. Down goes that Banshee, and I believe the tipping point has been met. GL Snute coming over the top with a very impressive force, and now it looks like SuperNova will be having to retreat with this small base. Mutalisk now coming back in. Zerglings now trying to swarm in again. More barracks now trying to be added. I believe SuperNova was not expecting such a good balanced composition of Zerglings, Mutalisks, and Banelings. And there you go. SuperNova giving the GG, tying up the series at 1 game apiece. GL Snute and SuperNova. Stay tuned for Game 3 in this series.